Alrighty boys, welcome back once again to another video. How you guys doing? Guys, today we're going to be talking about how mythic weapons should work in Fortnite Save the World. In today's video, we really have no concrete evidence as to the regards of mythic weapons in this game, but in the video today, I really just want to talk about how I hope that it ends up working, because mythic weapons are something that this community have been asking for a very long time now. I mean, people have been drawing parallels between this game and Destiny for a very long time now as well, and Destiny has the rarity known as exotic, and these are the most, arguably the best, even though they're not really, and the best looking weapons and the most unique, and they're really differentiated from the rest of the cast of weapons that are in the game. And of course, we've had this mythic rarity forever, and it applies to survivors, it applies to heroes and whatnot, and we've been wanting weapons for a really long time. And with the most recent mention in the roadmap about mythic weapons coming from the Mythic Storm King, today I just want to talk about how I hope that it ends up working as an in-game player and as somebody who's really wanted this since about 2 years ago, how I exactly really just want the system to work. Now, you guys of course can sound off in the comments down below with your own feedback, as I know for a fact that not everybody is going to share the exact same view that I will, so make sure that you leave your own feedback in the comments. Before we do jump into it, I know somebody's going to comment it. The thumbnail says how mythic guns should work, and it has a picture of the Storm King hammer. Yeah, I tried to put weapons and it made the thumbnail look really weird, so we're just gonna pretend that it says how mythic weapons should work and just go from there. But yeah, let's go and jump into the video. That didn't even need to mention it. So, with the most recent mention of mythic weapons in the roadmap, Epic Games had this to say. They said, wield the power of the Storm King. These unique weapons represent the Storm King himself, both visually and in power. Each weapon has a unique perk that unlocks special behaviors right from level 1. Shoot homing projectiles for insane headshot streaks, charge your weapon to unleash a devastating chain laser blast, or summon meteors from the sky to smash Huss into oblivion. These weapons drop exclusively from the Mythic Storm King, and if you want to use them, you'll have to earn them. They cannot be dropped from your backpack. Now, I have heard a lot of stuff about, different people's theories about how this kind of stuff should work. And as somebody who's been playing games like Destiny and looter shooters and, PvE games, RPGs and stuff, I really want this system to work in a specific way where it's going to cater to an audience that is going to want to keep playing this activity. Because I don't want the Storm King to just be an activity where people play for the first handful of times and then they never run it again because they already have everything that they need from it. This is a short list of stuff and how I would really like this system to work when it comes to the Storm King fight. First off, I would really like a limit on how many times you can run the Storm King a week. In Destiny, you are allowed to run the raid 3 times a week, 1 per character. I would like to see a similar system with the Storm King, where let's say we log on after reset, we run the Storm King as many times as we can, maybe we fail and we kind of give up after 2 runs, let's just say we run it 3 times, right, for example's sake. After we're done with that, we have to wait till the next reset. Who knows how long it takes us to do those 3 runs. It could have taken us multiple days to even do it. From that point on, then we can go and run some dungeons. If we get bored of that, we can go run some endurance with some buddies, or we can just do regular missions until the very next week. So I don't want the Storm King to be something that people can just play to death, because I think Epic Games kind of sees this as well, and that's why they're adding a dungeon system to kind of keep people on hold with content, right? Because we don't want this activity burning out and being something that's super forgettable really later down the line. You know what I mean? We don't want that to happen. Another thing I would like from this fight is whenever you do defeat the Storm King, right? I want to talk about how the reward system is going to work. What I would like to see is that if you defeat the Storm King, you get either 2 schematics or maybe even 1 schematic. I'm not sure exactly how they're going to do it, but I would like to see, those little drops on the floor whenever you kill a mini boss, a schematic drop. I would like to see a mythic one of those drop on the ground, maybe 2, and a specific kind of Evo cache. Let's say a yellow Evo cache to match the whole mythic rarity, right? And so you pick these up after the fight, and then you go to the end screen. And so you get 2 schematics. Let's say those schematics are the Storm King Assault Rifle and the Storm King Sword. And the Evo mat that you picked up, the Evo cache that you picked up, is going to give you a specific kind of token or a evolutionary material or crafting material. Let's say, for example, Storm King's Horn or Storm King's Heart or anything like that. It can only be 1. At least that's how I would like it. And basically how I would like the system to work is that anytime that you go to craft a mythic weapon from the Storm King, it requires, let's say, either the same or double the normal crafting amount, as well as one of that evolutionary material, because these are going to be some of the strongest weapons in the game, right? I mean, it's obvious just by reading the description, and if these are used all the time, 100% of the time, they're not going to be special anymore. So there has to be some kind of way where it's going to be kind of difficult to use these all the time, and so we kind of need a limit on that. And I would think that a special crafting material for these weapons would be really cool, so that you could earn this token or earn this horn or heart and then use that as part of the crafting process. And if you want to, you can just hoard these up over time and then craft as many as you want whenever. Another thing that I would like in this system to prevent people from burning out on the activity is randomized rolls on every single one of these schematics. If I run the Storm King 3 times that week, alright, and this is just for an example, let's say I get 2 assault rifles, 2 swords, and 2 hammers. Obviously it's not going to be the same as that, you'll get a bunch of different stuff, because we've already went over the entire list of Storm King weapons that are going to be there. But I would like it to be a randomized roll on every single time that I pick up a schematic, but make it to where I cannot re-roll my weapon to get the perfect perks, but instead allow me to perk it up. So that encourages me to run the Storm King fight repeatedly until I get that one mythic weapon, that one prized perfect god roll that I've been wanting, and then I can decide to, you know, perk it up and then make it my own and then craft it using the evolutionary materials that I've earned, and there we go. This is a weapon that could take me a very long time to even get, but it would be something that would really encourage players to keep playing the activity and give us something to actually grind for, which is something we are drastically missing right now. This is something that we definitely need as in-game players, and as anybody that wants this game to survive, we need stuff like this to keep us playing, because if Epic Games just keeps handing us content, you know, like we're babies and we're not earning any of it, then the content's just going to get stale very fast. I mean, I use this example all the time with the Jack's Revenge, and maybe it's not the best example, but the Jack's Revenge was a weapon that you could earn via a quest line, and it felt really good to actually earn it. Instead of it being just handed out to everybody, you actually had to go through the entire quest and earn it yourself. And once you finally had it, you felt really cool. You know, it's a really good weapon, a really polished weapon that does good damage, and you actually earned it. Another example is the Frost Knight 128 banner, and this is one of the, you know, hardest banners to ever earn, and for me personally, it took me over like 4 to 5 tries every single time making it to wave 30 until I finally beat Frost Knight and earned myself that banner. And for me, that was a huge thing for me. You know, I felt like I actually earned something that not everybody can earn. And with this whole mythic system and these mythic weapons, having randomized rolls on these schematics as well as random drops would encourage people to keep playing the activity, grind for their god roll, and then once they finally got it, I promise you, it is going to be 1,000 times more satisfying than cracking open a llama that you paid candy for, because that just gets boring, and I think we all can agree on that. The last thing that I would like to see for this system would be the perk up that you have to implement into these mythic weapons, at the very least doubled. And I know that many people might not like that idea, but these are going to be the best weapons in the entirety of the game. I feel as though you're going to have to work to actually obtain these weapons and get them to where you want them to be, because at the end of the day, we want content, we want things to do, and this is going to help us give us things to do and give us things to grind for. Having a system with the Storm King where after defeating it, you know, you're able to get 2 schematics and some evolutionary material to allow you to craft these weapons, right? You have the crafting cost doubled, as well as the specific mythic crafting item you get from the Storm King. You get randomized rolls, but anytime you want to perk it up, then you can. But if you want to get a different roll, then you got to run the activity again. You're limited 3 times a week, so the activity doesn't get completely boring and you can go do dungeons in your free time. And then whenever you finally are perking up that god roll, it's going to take you twice as long because it is twice the weapon any other weapon in the game is going to be. This is my own opinion on how the Storm King activity and how the schematic system and how all this can work. I've heard some people say that you'll defeat the Storm King and the weapon itself is just going to drop on the floor. I don't think that's the case because it says that it's going to have the perk right from level 1. So obviously there's going to be a leveling system involved. But at the end of the day, I feel as though they have to make this activity something that we can grind for, something that we can want to pursue, and whenever Wednesday comes around and reset happens at 8 p.m. Eastern time, people want to get on Save the World and play this activity and try to get those weapons, because at the end of the day, we as Save the World players have nothing to play for except for perk up and for tickets, and it's just getting boring. We need something to chase, we need a carrot on the stick, and I know that it doesn't appeal to all casual players, but this should hopefully give some incentive for those casual players to want to play this activity. Because the way that video games work is that, at least any other video game out there, is that the developers never baby their player base. You're going to have the casual player base, and you're going to have the hardcore player base. And people just need to accept the fact that not everybody's going to obtain every item in the game. And if Epic Games keeps babying the player base and giving them everything they want when they want it, then that's going to cause, and it has caused, a lot of the in-game players and people who have supported this game the most to actually leave the game. And this is just something that I really don't want Epic Games to screw up. As a player who has played this game for 2 years plus, I don't want Epic to screw this up, and I want them to give us something as an incentive to play this activity so that I don't run this a handful of times and then I'm like, okay, so now what? Because the Storm King fight, this Mythic Storm King, has been in the files. The Storm King weapon set has been in the files since like Season 8 or Season 7. Epic Games have been working their butts off for this fight, and if it becomes something that is just long and forgotten a few weeks after it comes out, I'm gonna be disappointed. So I really hope you guys did enjoy this video, and I want you to give your own feedback in the comments down below. This is something I'm heavily passionate about as somebody who is an in-game player and somebody who wants things to do. I want this to be a challenging activity, and I want it to be something that I can go to, you know, multiple times a week and try to get those god rolls and try to work my butt off to create these weapons into something that I truly want them to be. But guys, that's it for me. I really do appreciate you guys checking out the video. Leave your feedback in the comments down below, because I do imagine that Epic Games will be seeing this video, as Magus and Dave the Buck are constantly on Twitch and YouTube and stuff, and they do read comment sections. And so if you guys would like to leave your feedback, definitely do so, because you could have a way better idea than I do concerning how this fight is handled. I'm simply a player, and what I say doesn't necessarily impact everything that happens in the game. So the entire system could be completely different from what I just talked about, but let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Guys, that's it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe because I make videos like this almost every single day, and I'll see you guys next time.